Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast, and I do this every Friday. We go over the top news of the week when it comes to retro handheld, retro gaming, and some gaming sprinkled in as well. So you get everything. I want to thank you all. We just passed 200,000 website views a month. We were at 100,000 only a few months ago, so everything's ramping up. It's really cool. I don't get a lot of feedback on my website. So if you have any, let me know if I can improve anything. And nobody really says anything, so I assume it's all good, but just tell me if there's anything I need to improve. Let's get into the news. AYN has released an over-the-air update for the AYN Thor, and I've already put it on my Thor, so I'm curious if you have as well. If you want to know what is in this change log or over-the-air update, they solved the broken app switcher or the task manager when an alternative launcher is applied. So if you were using Daigisho or Emulation Station and you couldn't change the recents and all of that, that's fixed. They added support to pin the on-screen keyboard to the bottom screen. I have already tried this out. The easiest way that I found to do this is just touch the search apps in the bottom screen. The keyboard will pop up on the bottom screen. Then the bottom right, click the pin icon, and then you'll see a notification. Just click the bottom of that notification to have it on the bottom screen forever. They fixed support to enable DP output when docked. I didn't know that was broken, so that's good. They fixed an issue where the Thor would freeze during the first screen mirroring attempt after a factory reset when connected to a Wi-Fi 7 network. Super weird. Added support to hide Android soft keys bar from the bottom screen. That's cool. That was kind of annoying, so it's good it's fixed. Enabled the maximum fan speed setting when in custom fan mode. Fixed the unexpected random lines on the edge of the screen when launching J-Screen Fix. These are some weird ones. Added boot animation. The boot animation is actually pretty cool. It's like a going through Star Wars type thing. It was all right. Added support to disable the power button when the device is closed to prevent the reported issue where it keeps turning on by itself and heating up to unsafe levels while it was charging or in the pocket. This is an awesome change, and it already works by default. So if you close the Thor right now after the update and you push the power button, it doesn't do anything. You have to open up the lid to turn it on. Added support to prevent the system from waking up on the charging cable plug event when lid is closed. I actually haven't tried this yet, but basically you can now charge it while it is closed without the system waking up is what this means. That's also awesome. Added support to use the AYN key to wake up the screen. I mean, yeah, you don't have to push the power button. You could just push the AYN key, wake up the screen if it was in sleep mode. Also a really good change. To do the update, all you have to do is head over to, I believe it's System, Android Settings System, and then there should be a OTA update or something along those lines. It's the second from the bottom under Android Settings. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't remember exactly, but it's pretty easy to get to, and I think I show it in my setup guide. MelonDS 1.1 is out, and with it, we have some big changes. We talked about this a long time ago, but there's going to be some changes for DSi games here with DSP HLE. And basically, they've been running really slow in MelonDS in the past, and this is to help with those sort of games that were running slow. You can read through the entire changelog here just to see if there's anything that's interesting. There are a few different things like microphone input for DSi, high-quality audio resampling, cheat database support, which that is actually super useful if we can get one of those. Adding cheats to MelonDS was a little bit difficult, but if we can do a database actual import, that's cool. Shader renderer fix, OpenGL fix, and a few other things. So MelonDS 1.1 is out, and a reminder, this is for PC. Google has apparently reversed their decision to not allow sideloading of Android apps, and they will allow it in the future. The advanced flow feature is going to allow you to install apps outside of the Play Store as long as you agree to the risks. So this is a good win for us. This allows everybody to just continue as usual, as far as I can understand it as of right now. Some really good news for Snapdragon 8 Elite fans, but it looks like turnip drivers are in the works, and they are expected to land in the new year, so as early as January. We will see what that actually does for Snapdragon 8 Elite devices, but this is really good news given the review that I'm about to do for the Odin 3. ArmSX2, the new PlayStation 2 emulator, is now on the Google Play Store, so it makes it easier to install and update if you want to go check it out through there. Also, the developer of ArmSX2 is making ArmSX, a PlayStation 1 emulator based off of ePSX-E. For those of you that aren't familiar with EPSXE, it has been the PlayStation 1 emulator that people have used for years. I remember using it for so long. And then things changed and most people are using the RetroArch cores now and DuckStation and all of that. But EPSXE was the first one that I remember using way back when. So it's cool to see that they're bringing it to Android. You might be thinking that we have good PS1 support on Android right now. We don't, because it is the one emulator that does not work with SyncThing properly. So if we can get this to work with SyncThing, I'll be very happy as long as it does all the other things that DuckStation does. So this is cool. Wait for it. GameHub update 5.3.0 is now out, and I will say anecdotally, I noticed that this either fixed or brought it closer for the temperatures on the Snapdragon 8 Elite devices. My Odin 3 is now reporting a lot more accurate temperatures than it was before. So there's that. I don't know what else has changed because there is no changelog. So update if you want, and hopefully everything else is good. I haven't noticed any issues, but I haven't tested everything yet. Okay, so question of the week. Holidays are coming up, which means probably downtime for a lot of people. For those that don't have downtime, I apologize, but there's going to be a lot of us that have time off and all of that sort of thing. I plan on taking quite a bit of time off during December, so likely no newscasts. What are you planning to do? What games do you have in the backlog? What do you have? Is it TV shows? Is it movies? Is it something else? What's on your mind for, man, I can't wait for those days off because I am about to sit down and do X, Y, Z. For me, it is a lot of backlog for video games. I am ready to knock out a lot of games from this year in that time. So I'm excited for that. But what are you excited for? 8BitDo is releasing a new color for their N64 controller, and it is the normal retro gray N64 controller, which is just awesome. So I have this controller. I got it in white. I love it. It's really good. I use it for N64. This, I have to rebuy. I have to. I can't say no to this. This is the exact color scheme that I would want for a Nintendo 64 controller. So yes, it looks like it ships January 30th, 2026. It is $45 US, which I think is what I paid for the other one. It's around the same price, whatever it is. I don't know if I should order this as a Canadian from their link. I'm going to have to look into this. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. But I'm going to jump in with this one. So is this something that interests you? I'm going to assume there's a lot of people that want an actual N64 colored style controller, and this is it. Ayaneo has showed off the Ayaneo Pocket Vert in 3 different colors. There's a red, a black, and a white. And yeah, that's kind of it. They showed us the actual front and back now, as opposed to last week or the week before where we just saw kind of hidden spots to it. So we get the full exposure to what it looks like. And my thoughts are still the same as before. The buttons are still too small. The device does not look like something that I would want. I kind of want just an analog pocket, but with Android or whatever it is. And this really isn't it. They made their own kind of thing. What is interesting here, for those that want it, there is a touchpad underneath the D-pad and the buttons up to where the speaker and the start and select are. So that entire part is a touchpad to navigate Android. I say interesting, but for me, I don't know that I would want that. I can see that just getting in the way, but you could probably disable it. But yeah, this all just goes back to, I would have just wanted a normal vertical handheld with just normal controls, and that's it. But Ayaneo does what they do. So yeah. Really quickly here, because we didn't talk about it last week when it was all starting to pop up, the AYN Thor Hinge concerns. AYN came out and they debunked this by telling everybody that it was part of mold lines. It's part of the manufacturing process. Oh my Lord. So the long story short is that you may see mold lines on your AYN Thor. They are not cracks, as anybody would look at and notice that it is not a crack because there is no separation of the plastic. There is a big difference here between what is happening here and the Retro Pocket Flip 1 and Retro Pocket Flip 2 scenarios where there was actual separation of plastic. There was an actual crack there that you can put your finger there and you feel the difference. Here, they're just mold lines. So AYN has come out. They have talked about all of this. They have provided lots of research and information on all of this. Long story short, there is no hinge gate. There is no Thor hinge issue. That's not to say there might not be one in the future, but this specific issue, is not a thing. So clear up the misinformation. I still see it in my comments as of right now. There's nothing wrong with the AYN Thor Hinge right now. Anbernic is teasing a new Anbernic RG477V, and it looks like a thinner RG406V from the little pictures that we have seen. And I'm going to assume it's going to use the same screen as the other 477M and 477H or 476H. No. What screen is this using? I don't know. I don't know any details. They posted some stuff and there were some translated things, and I might have missed it for the actual details of the screen. We'll wait till it's shown and announced and all of that. But you should know there's a new vertical coming from Anbernic, assuming they can be trusted because they have lied to us in the past about all of this stuff, like the integer scaling DS screens and all that fun stuff. So it looks like there is something coming. Use this with a grain of salt if it does not actually happen, but these look real enough to me that we can assume that it's coming. Oh, it is the 4.7. I got confused. It is the 4.7 inch screen that they've been using. I get confused. I have not used an Anbernic device in a little bit, so I'm kind of lost on what they've been doing. But 4.7 inch screen, it's going to be a better chip than the H700. We'll know a few things in a little bit. Friendly reminder that we have Game of the Month, ROM Hack of the Month, and Game of the Season going on the Discord. And in the next week, before next newscast, we're going to be voting on the new game and ROM Hack of the Month for December. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to vote on games to play, come join the Discord. That's what we're doing. You can also play the current game and ROM Hack of the Month. So you got a lot of things you can do. Okay, and we're going to add a new segment here. It's game news. I'm going to bring up some ROM hacks of the week or new ROM hacks that might help you discover some new games as we go along. This might not be a thing every week, depending on how many games we find, but I'm going to do it whenever I can. First one is Pokemon Lazarus. So Pokemon Lazarus is by the same developer as Emerald Sea Glass, and it is basically Game Boy Color style graphics, and it takes place in the Ilios region, and there's a Pokedex of 400 Pokemon from generations 1 to 9. There's a whole day-night system. There's a bunch of other things. It is a ROM hack made by a developer that is known for good ROM hacks. So if you want to jump into something new, then jump in. I am waiting for those retro achievements. They came very quickly for Emerald Sea Glass, but I know they'll come pretty quickly for this too. As soon as those come, I'm all in for Lazarus. Then we have Legend of Zelda Mirror of Worlds, which is a new one. It's supposed to be really good from what I've heard. Might be hard, though, so I don't know if you like hard Zelda ROM hacks, but that's a thing. But there is an easy mode, so you have that option too, so you should check it out. Then we have 2 Mario Kart Super Circuit GBA ROM hacks. The first one is a music restoration one, and this is from a week or two ago, but it is apparently a good improvement hack for the music, which helps there. But also, there is a 60 FPS patch, and I've been told that you can combine both. So you can get music and 60 FPS to upgrade your Super Circuit playing capabilities. That's pretty cool. Then we have one from 2 weeks ago, and this is a Saturn port of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It is called Dracula X Nocturne in the Moonlight Ultimate 1.1. There's a bunch of history around this one, but from what I have been told, this is like the de facto best way to play Symphony of the Night now. So if that interests you, you might want to check this out. Okay, as always, we end off the newscast with the newscast Q&A, so you can send in your questions to newscast@joeysretrohandhelds.com, or if there's a Discord channel, you can send it in through there. We have one question this week, came in from Malson. Hey Joey, I saw your new studio setup in your most recent video, and it looks great. I'm curious to hear about the thought process behind it, what brought on the change. Did you have anything that you wanted to share about how it came together, the various items you wanted to, or chose to incorporate, all of that? I actually don't remember why I decided to do it. I kind of get bored sometimes, and I'm like, I look around, I'm like, how can I improve whatever I'm doing? And for my videos, my biggest improvements were lighting. So I have 2 new lights here. They are powered by an Amaran video or Amaran lighting, and then there's newer honeycomb things. I can put a picture in, but that's what it is. And then I have my microphone that's been pretty good. I bought another microphone. It's one of those clip-on ones. I haven't really played with it yet. But all I did, and it's funny, but all I did was move the desk. It was facing that way before, and now it's facing this way. And that's really all I did. But I also cleaned up all the stuff that was on the floor. Like all of my lights were all on the floor on stands. They're all connected to the desk now. I have everything connected to the desk now. So this whole desk, there's nothing like I don't have to worry too much about stepping on things. And then the back. So I was looking up videos. I was trying to get an idea of what I wanted to do behind me. I wanted to display more things, but I didn't want to make it too crowded either. I came across a video by a dude named, I think it was Denki or Genki or something like that. He does like tech reviews. And I liked the background he had with all the lights and some IKEA furniture. And I was actually going to copy the same thing. Then I went to IKEA and I found a different one, the one that you'll see in my videos now. And I liked it better. And so I set that all up. I was putting up handhelds. I found I had my 4x3 LCD monitor that I throw right to back behind me. And it's just throwing N64. My Super Nintendo doesn't work anymore, or wasn't working. I was going to have that instead, but Nintendo 64 works. So I just turn that on and it plays Zelda. So Zelda shows up in the background. And then in the back over here, I just added is I got signed copies of Malazan, my favorite fantasy book series of all time, my favorite book series of all time. And I got signed copies of all 10 books, which is so awesome because the actual author is Canadian. He's over in British Columbia. I got it shipped over. I'm super happy. So all 10 books are there. And then I have my Illidan statue. And it was just putting things in different places behind me, just to have something behind me. Fixing my camera. Now that I have proper lighting, I can have better actual color correction and all of that sort of thing. So there's a bunch of things that I've been doing. There's still more that I have to do, but the general idea was I wanted a new change. And so I'm trying to just improve things where I can. Hopefully that answers your question. I don't know. If you have any specific questions, let me know and I'll answer them. That's going to be it for this one. So I appreciate you all for watching. And that's all from me, Phoenix, Arizona.